AI is not just changing what buyers buy, it's changing how they get informed, how they compare vendors, and how they decide who is credible before they ever talk to your company. That is the part too many B2B tech companies still do not fully understand. I'm Jonathan W. Buckley, and my team and I, through the Artesian Network, work with early stage and growth stage B2B technology companies on positioning, go-to-market strategy, and building a revenue model that actually scales. So far, over 50% of our clients have ultimately reached IPO or M&A exit. Now I'm going to review 4 shifts that are happening right now thanks to AI. First of all, there's a new decision environment. What is happening right now is not just a new marketing channel, it is a new decision environment. Buyers are increasingly using AI to help them understand categories, summarize vendors, compare alternatives, pressure test the claims made by those vendors, and narrow down shortlist vendors. That means your first real sales conversation may happen long before your sales team is ever invited into the room. A buyer may already have asked an AI tool, what does this company do? Who is it really for? How is it different? How hard will it be to implement? Are there credible claims? And what are the likely risks in your project? And if your company is hard to understand, inconsistent in its messaging, or vague in its proof, you may be losing ground before human interaction ever begins. So here's shift 1. It's an AI-mediated discovery. That changes the marketing job. The first shift is this: you need to build for AI-mediated discovery. Not just the traditional funnel. For years, B2B marketing has been built around the assumption that buyer journey starts with someone landing on your website, someone downloading a piece of content, or responding to your outreach. This is no longer a safe assumption. Now the buyer may start by asking an AI assistant to explain your market, summarize the alternatives, and recommend who looks credible in that market. So the real question becomes, if an AI system had to explain your company in just 2 sentences, would it get the answer right? For most companies, the answer is no, as far as we can see. Their messaging is too broad. Their differentiation is too fuzzy. Their website says one thing, their sales deck says another. Their case studies are too generic, and their category language shifts from quarter to quarter. That kind of ambiguity is expensive in an AI-first buying environment. So the practical move is not complicated, but it's hard. Tighten your positioning until it survives compression. A buyer, an analyst, or an AI system should be able to state clearly who you serve, what problem do you solve, what changes after the adoption of your product, and why you're the better choice. If that cannot be explained cleanly, more demand generation is not going to fix it. It will just scale the confusion. So here's shift 2. You need to engineer credibility. The second shift is this: credibility has to be engineered, not implied. In older B2B motions, a strong sales team could sometimes carry a weak proof structure for longer than they should have. Great reps could fill in the gaps, smooth over vague claims, and build trust in the room. Now buyers are doing more validation well before the sales call. They're checking for consistency. They're looking for proof. They're testing whether your claims sound precise or promotional. That means trust cannot live only in a brand narrative or one polished case study hidden 3 clicks deep on your website. It has to show up everywhere, in your customer evidence, in your implementation language, in your product explanation, even in your onboarding story, in your metrics, and in constraints you're willing to acknowledge. This is where a lot of companies expose themselves. They say things like, we can improve efficiency, we accelerate growth, we drive transformation. Maybe we unlock value. That language may sound acceptable in a marketing meeting, but it does not survive serious scrutiny. Serious buyers trust precision. They trust teams that can say, for this type of company, with this type of problem, under these conditions, we typically improve this metric in this time frame with this level of effort. That's a very different standard. And in my view, that's the right standard. So here's shift 3. It's about the go-to-market system itself. The third shift is go-to-market has to be managed like a system, not a collection of campaigns. AI is accelerating parts of the buying process, but that does not reduce the need for operational discipline. It increases it. When buyers move faster and do more evaluation on their own, every point of friction matters more. Confusing messaging matters more, weak qualification matters more, a vague demo matters more, and a sloppy sales handoff matters more. Because now the buyer has more tools to evaluate you quickly and less patience for fixing your story on your behalf. The companies that will win are not ones producing the most content. They're the ones that understand their decision path. They know what messages creates real interest. They know what proof moves a buyer. They know what deals lose momentum. They know where trust is earned. And that requires real alignment. Product, marketing, sales, success cannot operate from 4 different versions of the truth. You need one story. That means one ICP definition, one view of the buying criteria. And that's not glamorous work, but that's where scale comes from. So here's the 4th and final shift. It's a matter of visibility versus traction. So the 4th shift is especially important for founders and early stage teams. Do not confuse AI-assisted visibility with scalable traction. AI can absolutely help a company get discovered faster, but awareness is not the same as repeatability. Interest is not the same as readiness. Pipeline activity is not the same as a scalable revenue model. If you want to build a company with real strategic value, you need the fundamentals: a focused ICP, a clear category story, proof that maps to the buyer criteria, and a sales motion that can be repeated in a predictable fashion. So in conclusion, if I were advising a CEO or founder right now, I would start with 4 questions. Can an AI system accurately explain what you do and why you matter? Is your proof specific enough to stand up to scrutiny? And do you know exactly where trust is built across the buyer journey? And finally, are we creating repeatability or just generating activity? Because AI is changing the surface area of discovery and trust. But the winners in B2B tech will not be the companies that simply add AI to their marketing stack. They'll be the companies that build go-to-market systems clear enough to be understood, credible enough to be trusted, and disciplined enough to scale. And that's the real opportunity. And that's where durable growth comes from. If you'd like to connect and discuss your unique business challenges in marketing in this new environment, please reach out to me either through LinkedIn, Jonathan W. Buckley, or our website at artesiannetwork.com. We'd love to help either formally or informally. Thank you.